Naphtali, the swift messenger of grace. When Jacob, nearing the twilight of his days, gathered his son to speak over them the words of prophecy, his blessings over Naphtali stood out for its beauty and mystery. Naphtali, he said, is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words. In that poetic utterance lay a divine seed, a vision of freedom, grace, and joyful proclamation that would echo throughout the tribe's history and spiritual legacy. Naphtali, the sixth son of Jacob and the second born to Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, came from humble beginnings. His name means my wrestling, for Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. Genesis 38. From his very naming, Naphtali was born into a story of striving, a reflection of the human condition itself. Yet Jacob's prophecy turned that striving into freedom. Naphtali's destiny was not to be bound by struggle, but to run free as a deer let loose upon the mountains of Israel, unburdened, swift, and graceful. A tribe of swiftness and strength. In the days of Israel's journey to the Promised Land, the descendants of Naphtali become known for their courage and readiness. Their inheritance lay in the northern region of Galilee, a land rich in beauty but often scarred by invasion and strife. Yet even there, Naphtali's tribe maintained a spirit of freedom and faithfulness. Judges 5:18 declares, Zebulun and Naphtali were a people that jeopardized their lives unto the death in the high places of the field. When Deborah and Barak rose to deliver Israel from the hand of Sisera, the warriors of Naphtali came forth with fierce devotion. They risked everything for the cause of righteousness. Their swift feet, like the deer Jacob saw, carried them into battle with grace and faith. That moment in history revealed what Jacob's prophecy meant. Their swiftness was not merely physical but spiritual, a readiness to obey, to act, and to move at the prompting of God. From struggle to song. Naphtali's heritage shines again in Deborah's song of victory in Judges 5. A song that overflows with praise, poetry, and beauty. He giveth goodly words, Jacob had said, and indeed, from Naphtali's line came a legacy of inspired speech. He was a tribe marked by eloquence and expression, a people who knew how to turn struggle into song. This spiritual gift echoes in the New Testament. When Isaiah prophesied of the coming Messiah, he declared, Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation by the way of the sea beyond Jordan, in Galilee of the nation. The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. Isaiah 9:1 and 2. That land of Galilee, the territory of Naphtali, became the cradle of Christ's ministry. The words of Jacob, spoken centuries before, found their fulfillment in Jesus himself. In the very land that belonged to Naphtali, the Word made flesh began to speak goodly words, words of life, healing, and grace. The hind let loose became the messenger of God's redemption, running freely across hills once shadowed by darkness, declaring liberty to the captives and sight to the blind. The legacy of Naphtali. Naphtali teaches us that grace can emerge from wrestling, and beauty can rise from struggle. He reminds us that the child of striving can become a symbol of freedom, and that God can transform what was once bound into a vessel of praise. In our own lives, we often begin where Rachel did, wrestling, longing, trying to prevail. Yet the story of Naphtali shows us that those who cling to God in the midst of their struggle will one day run free. The deer that once stumbled in the thicket is loose to leap upon the mountains. Naphtali's spiritual seed is this: faith is meant to run free. When we are bound by fear, pride, or pain, we cannot carry the message of grace. But when we are released by the mercy of God, when His Spirit breaks our chains, we can speak goodly words to a weary world. The tribe of Naphtali also symbolizes the joy of expression. the sanctified tongue, the inspired word, the redeemed voice. His descendants teach us that the most powerful ministry often begins in the simplest proclamation, words of encouragement, hope, and truth. Like Naphtali, every believer is called upon to speak life into darkness, to bring beauty into brokenness, and to move swiftly in obedience to God's call. Naphtali's story, though brief in scripture, stretches far in spirit. From Jacob's prophecy to Deborah's victory, from Galilee's hills to the voice of Christ himself, the legacy of this tribe runs like a stream through the pages of redemption. When Jacob said, "Naphtali is a hind let loose," he spoke of more than a man or a nation. He spoke of a movement of grace and of a people unshackled by their past, free to proclaim God's goodness. So may we too live as Naphtali, free, swift, and full of goodly words. May we let loose our faith into a world in need of grace. And may our voices like his echo through generations as a testimony that God turns every struggle into a song, every restraint into release, and every believer into a herald of his unending mercy. I hope you enjoyed this little lesson on Naphtali. Join me again for more Tribes of Israel.